Alright, this one's coming down to the wire. So you'll notice there are actually three blue dice on the board. Those three dice are because the Fellowship player had the Rumors Rampant card that allowed them to create more rumors out of their pile. There would have been more pieces on the board, actually. I kind of screwed up. Not that it matters much. We got a search here, and it came up on Psionic Activity, which is where every single one of these pieces is sitting. Now, it's impossible for me to get less than a 0 anywhere. Let's check this one. This one actually is at -2. Okay, that got an 8. So these chips are going away, right? Psionic, oh, yeah. This guy, I have to see what happens to him. That is the Fellowship pile, and he only rolled a 1. That's going to be an S4, which means it's a sighting, and he shows a number of characters. Well, we know what's in that stack, so we're not going to go through that. But here's the key. The evil player can't do anything about it. So on the evil player's turn, and I'll move this up to turn 17 while I remember. Well, he recovers some damage, which I'll take care of afterwards. But he moved a lot of stuff together. Two minion counters, although only one of them could be real. Don't ask why two. And a bunch of his remaining forces. And he put the storm here and did a search. Now the storm hurt his search a little bit, but he put the +2 counter down, and he had a +1, and he ended up rolling really crappy and getting an S8. And again, that lets him see some of the characters. Big deal. Here we are at the beginning of a Fellowship turn. Now the Fellowship can say at this point that they want to break the Fellowship. If they do that, right now they're sitting in a C area. A C area with Frodo carrying the ring is a tactical victory for them. They didn't lose Aragorn or Gandalf. Actually, their losses is 6 characters, which puts them right at a 0, so that doesn't modify anything. It's after turn 15, but before turn 20, there's an additional thing there. So they don't get any additional bonuses there. They can take the medium level victory right now without doing anything. If they don't do that, they have to figure out a way through the pass. They don't really have a great card for that. They're injured. 1, 2, 3. They could slip through here or try to go through the storm. Passes. You have to roll to get through a pass, so they're not guaranteed. If I was playing the Fellowship, I think I would break the Fellowship at this point. I'm going to play it out just to show how the game works if you try to push through without declaring victory to Mount Doom. I have a feeling they can make it, but I would take my victory. Being a fairly conservative person, I don't think that destroying the ring, sending the whole group in to destroy the ring, is necessary. So at this point, I would say this was a Fellowship victory. I have some worries that the game actually might be a little unbalanced in the Fellowship's favor. I'm not sure how to handle that. You could certainly bid level shifts on it. As we see, this was kind of a rough game at the start. I mean, things went really poorly back here, heading this way. Long trip back, yet they still made it. And to me, that means either I was giving them advantages, which it didn't feel like. It felt, if anything, my knowledge was favoring the Sauron player. So I think you could bid level shifts and make a decision. Okay, look, whoever wants, one side or the other can say, I'll give you this many level shifts to the victory, just as a balancing feature. It's still a fun game. I'm not a biggie on balancing games, but I would be somewhat worried about it. Or you can switch sides and see who gets the better victory. All right, so I'm going to push on because I'm still having some fun here, and it sounds like other people are interested in the story. Clearly, though, it might make more sense for the hobbits to leave. Well, what hobbits? Okay, for Frodo and God knows who. I mean, this is so different from the story. Oh yeah, and Fatty's still stuck on this island. I keep rolling looking for a boat, and he can't find it. And the Fellowship is discovered again on their turn, and everything else has been removed. They ran around because the storm makes it hard to cut through to over here. Of course, they're kind of stuck in this ping pong ball. That storm's going to move back and forth, and it's going to make it really, really difficult for them to cross there. I'm beginning to think the victory declaration was the right thing. If I can't see them getting over easily, they'll try eventually. So here's one of the problems. They would have crossed and then only been able to get to here. So they wanted to move forward. Now, one of the dangers they have is if they're found here, there might be some whites involved in the battle as well. That's what that little swords crossed means. Alright, let's go on to the Sauron player. But it's looking difficult for the whole party to get through. And this may be it. The search went off. We got an encounter. And Camul has just ambushed Frodo. If he can take Frodo out in one blow, he can grab the ring. And that'll make it a lot harder for the Fellowship. They will have to defeat quite a large force, actually. I've gathered the Mouth of Sauron and all of the current Nazgul together. The only ones that are missing are the two that have been killed, or at least so badly wounded that they're not yet on the board. So this is an interesting position. Camul managed to knock Frodo out, but by my reading of the rules at least, the rest of the Fellowship comes charging to his aid. Now, Camul has the right to get out of there, but he can't seize the ring. He's not affected by the automatic must disengage. He's too close to Mordor for that. So the Fellowship lost their chance to force the Nazgul out. Here's Camul's problem. If the Fellowship dissolves at this point, they're in an area that counts as an A on the map. That's a major victory. Excuse me. The ring bearer has a diseased wound. That's -1. The fact that he's unconscious doesn't really matter. So, and I think level shifts drop you one this way, but they may drop you a level in victory. Oh yeah, they're a victory level. So it'll go down to a tactical victory again, which is where we were. But it doesn't make a difference. He believes he must try to kill. He must try to defeat the Fellowship party. It's a low likelihood, but he's going to continue with the attack and bring allow all the Fellowship characters to fight him. All right. So after the battle, the round of battle, Camul ends up with 5 wounds. Gandalf managed to do a pretty heavy hit on him. Gimli, he was trying to kill, but Gimli's pretty tough. He knocks him out. Still facing a decent number of characters, but much worse, they have a disengagement card. So they're out of there. On their next turn, the Fellowship is going to break up. I'm not sure quite what that means in this story. Oh, look. Gimli and Frodo are unconscious. My guess here, given Aragorn's bravery and power throughout, is he's going to grab the ring, go back to Minas Tirith, and try to lead an army. Wait, no. I really don't know what's going to happen. You know, a way to describe this. I would guess Aragorn, Gandalf, and Legolas will sneak off and try to destroy the ring themselves, and leave the Hobbit and the Dwarf in the care of the wounded elf and his buddy to see if they can get out of there. Because that sounds kind of like how Aragorn's been this whole game. Single-minded towards his purpose and willing to abandon short people at a moment's notice. Alright, so we're looking at a tactical victory, which is the same as I would have gotten here. If I had tried to go through a pass, oddly enough, the evil player was holding a heavy snowfall card, which would have prevented that movement at the time it happened. So, in a way, they're kind of lucky they got caught. I mean, not really. But, anyhow, I'm going to load this one up. Kind of had the wrap in the middle of it, but whatever. And then I'll come back with a review of the game later.